The best presenters are the best of themselves. How can you relate well to an audience unless you're relating well to yourself? In this short video, I want to share with you a few quick tips that will enhance your presentation skills. First tip, if you've delivered presentations before, you know that when you get into the flow of it, it tends to work okay, but it's getting to that place. So therefore, have a think about the first one or two sentences that are going to come out of your mouth. Sometimes that might be an introduction, sometimes it might be explaining why you're there or what you're going to cover or the time frame involved. But do know and have given some thought to the first 2 or 3 sentences that you're going to say. If you've thought about having a strong opening, you can think about having a strong closing as well. We've all witnessed those presentations where someone has maybe delivered a good presentation but then closes it with a shrug of the shoulders or asking something like, any questions? Finishing strongly, perhaps with something like, well, I'm happy to take any questions that you might have, is a much stronger, more assertive, more positive finish. The second tip I'll share with you is knowing what your core message is. What is your must? What must the audience know versus what's nice for them to know? Putting a presentation together is not about cutting and pasting PowerPoint slides. It's about having a message and building a communication around that. Let's remember that a presentation is always a means to an end. What is that end? What do you want the audience to do with the information that you've shared with them, with the critical information that you've shared with them? Third tip, and this is often where people fall down, it's in the use of visual aids. And for most of us, that's PowerPoint. PowerPoint is a visual tool. It's not about cutting and pasting from Word or Excel. It's about having some interesting slides that aid your presentations. It is important to have your visuals aligned with what it is you're saying. So a quick tip for you on PowerPoint, use as many graphics as you can, but if you are using some bullet points, some rows of text, make sure they come up one at a time, because if you're speaking about the first one, everyone else will be reading point 5 or point 6. The next tip is about planning how you're going to engage with an audience. I often think an audience will forgive a presenter for most things apart from being boring. A presentation is not just about what it is you're saying, but how you say it. So how are you going to work on engaging with the audience? Having a variance in your tone, open body language, good eye contact, asking questions, using appropriate humor if that's part of your personality. There's a range of options at your disposal. The last tip I'm going to share with you today is around managing those nerves. Now, there's enough tips on how to manage nerves and portray confidence as a presenter, but I'm just going to give you 1 or 2 now as a quick takeaway. Let's remember that an audience at a presentation is really only interested in what's in it for them. They're not overly concerned with your nerves. Sometimes we can be very wrapped up in how we're feeling, but a tip is, we sort of need to get over ourselves. You're there to educate the audience. Be more interested in them than you are in yourself at that moment. Also, from the audience's perspective, an audience doesn't want to feel uncomfortable, and they'll feel uncomfortable if you're uncomfortable. It's like that nervousness at the top of the room is contagious. The reverse of that is also true, because if an audience doesn't want to feel uncomfortable, well, then they want you to do a good job. They want to know that they're in safe hands and listening to you. So I hope these few tips on presentation skills have been of benefit to you, and I wish you good luck with your next presentation.